The modes are just transpositions of the original major scale, and in the major scale we have these chords diatonically. So we just simply take these chords and we move them to the Dorian mode. So if we think in the key of C, this would be C major, that would be a C major triad, that would be a D minor triad, and so on. And then we move it and begin everything on D minor. And so the D minor then becomes a 1 minor. And what was 3 minor becomes 2 minor, and what was 4 becomes flat 3 major, because the flat 3 expresses that the major chord is a minor third from the root and of the key of the mode. And then this 5 major becomes 4 major, and 6 minor becomes 5 minor, and 7 diminished becomes 6 diminished, and this, what was the 1 chord originally, gets moved to the end and becomes flat 7 major. So the same chords that were here get moved here, but we start on the 2, and that 2 becomes the 1. But all the same structures are in place, and it goes that way for the rest of the modes. For our assignment, we're most interested in this relationship right here, this place where there's 2 major triads a whole step apart. And you'll see that that is recurring in Dorian, but it's in a different place. And it's going to recur later on, you'll see. So here I've used color to show where they all are. There's Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixed Lydian. Those are a whole step apart if you go down from the 1 chord down to the flat 7 below it, and then Aeolian. For this assignment we are focusing mainly on Lydian and Mixed Lydian, because the two major triads that are a whole step apart revolve around the 1 chord, and it makes it easy to write a song seed based on that. You can also experiment with some of the others, but just find a way to get the tonic of the mode in the bass in an open string, and then you could experiment with others. But Lydian and Mixolydian are our main focus for this assignment. Okay, so continuing on now, we have an explanation of how to apply this to the guitar. So the simplest way is to use a drone string, and on our chart, which of course is the shapes with names chart, we see all these shapes, and the ones that I recommend you start with are the very familiar ones. So this is a D shape, and then you can use the 4th string as an open D drone. Okay, and that's a 1 chord. And you can simply move that. You can set up a little finger picking pattern, and then just simply move up a whole step, and that gives you your 1 major. Your 1 major and your 2 major, and that gives you your Lydian sound. And then against that you sing the Lydian scale to get yourself oriented, which of course is do, re, mi, fi, sol, la, ti, do. And you sing that while you're playing, and you get into the vibe of the mode, and then you try to make up a Lydian melody. When you do that, you can vary the chord rhythm. It doesn't have to be equal harmonic rhythm. You can change the finger picking pattern, or even do a strum. Try to come up with a creative melody that's Lydian. Then you do the same thing, but you move down for Mixed Lydian, down to the flat 7. Just slide right off the neck there. And that's your Mixed Lydian, which of course is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, and that way you have used something familiar to get started. Then you go up here and you just simply do the same thing right there. That's also a D chord. It's just a higher inversion, so you're up on the 5th fret. Lydian, and Mixed Lydian. And what's surprising is you may come up with some different melodic ideas when you do that voicing, because the high note of the voicing will affect your choices. Then you go on up it, and you're still in D, and you do this one, and now you do your high Lydian, and your high Mixolydian. Okay, get the idea? Now then you move the whole operation to the next string set, and now this string is the open drone, and this will be A, Lydian, and Mixolydian. Here, Lydian, Mixolydian, and Lydian, Mixolydian. I'm obviously going kind of fast just to demonstrate, but you can take your time, try some different patterns, and then finally we come to this shape and we do E, Lydian, and you can't go down to Mixolydian here because there's not enough space to create the low voicing there. So you'd have to come up with a different voicing for to basically create a D chord. You could use this. Come up to the next shape and do the same thing there. And like so. And last but not least, this shape. Okay, and you're going to come up with two song segments, one Lydian and one Mixolydian. Then if you want to develop them and make a larger song, or maybe even a song that's a mixture of both modes, that's fine, but just start with that as a bare minimum. Okay.